Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views. Chad Arms TV. I got my business partner here, Squints, with me as well, Sean Proof Entertainment. We are here to talk to two gentlemen today. And the gentleman on the left is?
Shannon, Houchins, Average Joe's.
Gentleman on the right is?
Brabo Gator, Mako Music.
So earlier in the week, all over social media, people were going nuts because they saw some sort of visual type, brand type announcement thing. Everybody's anxious to hear like some official news from one of you two because we both know that both y'all's brands is incorporated with what we saw. And just wondering if you guys are ready to let us know something about that or...
Yeah, so Average Joe's is, of course, Average Joe's. I guess he'll elaborate on the Average Joe's side of it, and then Mako is our side of it. So we're trying to figure out a way to make two powerhouses come together to make a strong movement. So that's what it is. When you see the logos merging together, that's what it is. Coming together to try to figure this whole genre out and how to, elevate it to the next level.
So Shannon, do you just want to talk to us about Average Joe's and just everything about it, or whatever you want to?
Yeah, look, we've been around since 2008. Obviously, our flagship artist is Colt Ford, and after that, everything kind of exploded for us. We're going into we're in our 13th year right now, and continue to keep trucking along. As far as like country rap goes, we're kind of the staple and kind of the leaders in the whole, in the whole genre, although we're kind of outside of the genre as well, and we're into a lot of other things outside of that, like film and television and sports and things like that. And but even though we're into a lot of other things and a lot of different verticals, part of what we do has always been country rap. And just Brabo and I met through a mutual friend, and he was kind of like, you guys should get together. You guys are a lot alike. A lot of, basically was saying like Mako reminded him of, and it was true because I'd been watching him, reminded him of, and reminds me of a lot when we started Average Joe's, right? So it was that same kind of energy and everything. And we really just met just to meet, and it turned into like, wow, like there's a lot of synergy here. Like how do we go 2 + 2 and make it equal 10, and how do we really, there's kind of a glass ceiling in what is country rap. Like there's nobody really like breaking through to that next level, and like how do we get there? And one of the ways would be have a better brain trust. Like how do we come together and make a smarter team? And that's what everything was kind of based in, and where the initial conversation started from.
Yeah, we sat down because Average Joe's, even me doing music back in the day, you're always hearing this name. They're the powerhouse. It's just everything big that's happening, it's Average Joe's doing it. So on that side, it was remarkable. It's like you always want to be a part of a team like that. So from the outside looking in, I'm going, wow. Even Shannon to me was a myth. It's like you don't even know what he looks like, what's going on, Right. But then finally getting to meet him, same guy he's talking about, brought us together. Like, y'all are a lot alike. Just give it a chance. And I'm not a very want to meet a person type of person. I'm very closed off. But I met Shannon, and I'm going, I see it. I get it. I get what they're doing. And then after that, we just started talking more. I don't think we ever thought it would come to this point, but right. I'm glad it did.
So y'all just started out basically just linking up and just kind of talking and kind of
just
picking each other's brains over a period of time, and then it kind of snowballed after that, basically.
Yeah, it really was kind of rooted in like, how do we make this thing bigger and make it bigger for everyone, not just the people that we're directly affiliated with internally. Really like every raise all boats, and like I said, there is a glass ceiling, and we need to, we've got to elevate it, and it's going to take, all the smart people getting in the same room, to do that. And a lot of, like I said, like he reminds me a lot of me when I was younger, where, you know, we're kind of the creative forces, you know, in our company where it's like our ideas, but like, you know, back in the day, I would go in and physically execute all of those things, like find an artist that wasn't even an artist and, you know, and turn the artist, you know, into an artist, right? And but now as I've kind of spread myself out into, especially with our, you know, with our hideout business with our film and TV division, you know, and just having less energy as you get older, like I was like, wow, like he's got that energy and he's brilliant creating and doing those things. Like it's, you know, sometimes you meet those people and you're just like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling what they're doing. But I was just like from the moment, I think it was like, it's like the third single y'all put out was the first one because it was the one with Demon on it. And obviously, yeah, Big Trucks record. And I love that record. And I was like, oh, now I'm going down the rabbit hole. Now I'm kind of paying attention. And I'm like, wow, this, of anybody who's tried to do it, that was like, Mako was the one thing I was like, oh, they are doing it exactly right. And then when we met, it was like, oh my gosh, like there's something here. Like if as we had this conversation, it's like, who's going to, you know, lead that? Like obviously Average Joe's has been at the forefront of this whole time, right? And it was just kind of like, you know, from the, you know, as far as a creative leader, like, you know, Brabo could be that. And so, you know, we got together and the more we talked, I was like, you know, let's figure out what this synergy is, and then how do we, you know, we set this goal, how do we get there? And that's kind of where, you know, everything came from.
So from when y'all talk about this, how long was this process before y'all figured it out and was like, all right, this is what we need to do?
Oh, this is a Vegas wedding. Yeah.
But when it feels, I've learned one thing: when you force something, it's usually not meant to be. When you're trying to figure out ways to make something happen, it's usually not what it's supposed to be. With Shannon, it wasn't that at all. I'm usually very reluctant, and he probably is too from all the stuff he does, but you're usually very reluctant in the music business to even trust anybody, right?
You're not a stranger to it either.
Correct.
You've been around for a minute too, yeah.
But when we met each other, everything flowed naturally and fast, right? So I'm looking at a mirror image of myself, like, but a more successful piece of myself. Does that make sense? Like, this is where I want to be at. Right. And I always say this about people, and it's probably the best compliment I can give you, period, or to anybody. I look at people and I go, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, whatever, if in this many years I'm in that person's position, am I happy with what I did with myself or not? And usually the answer is no. I don't want to be where that person's at. Even though they're ahead of me, it's not where I want to end up. If I got there, I'd be upset. Then you look at Shannon and go, if I ended up there, would I be happy? Yes. And that's the thing that clicked in my head. I'm going, this makes sense. You know, yeah, I'd love to be where Shannon is.
Minus the backaches when you get up in the morning.
Minus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers infatuation.
The team with 2 more Super Bowls than the Titans.
Go Titans.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to hear with Average Joe's Nashville based and y'all down in Florida.
I mean, it's an hour and a half flight.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's actually good. I mean, it's not hard to convince me or anybody on our team to say, hey, you want to go to Florida for a few days? Like, yeah, let's go to Florida.
I had a buddy of mine that probably made the best analyzation of what it is. He goes, we got Average Joe. Average Joe's is the monster. And if you look at their track record, that's what they are. Period. You know, people might have done this better or that better or this better, but as a whole, for the genre that we're in, they're the monster. You can't deny that, right? And you got Mako, which right now is the momentum. They're moving forward. You know, not saying Average Joe's not, no. It just, we have momentum going for us. If you can combine those things together, you have something that cannot be stopped. Yeah. It's usually what happens, though, is people don't sit down like me and Shannon and go, how do we bring this together? Yeah. They literally start going to battle with each other.
Or you have one or the other.
Correct. Yep. And this person might overtake this person and become the monster. But look at how much energy was spent trying to take over this versus breaking that glass ceiling. Right. And you look at the people that are the monster, why do you want to kill the momentum when the momentum is going to elevate us through this glass ceiling to push this genre to the next level? Let's figure it out now. What are you great at? And we looked at it, and the teams match up too. Not just me and Shannon, but the teams all match up. Like even now, everybody's in the same building. That's a beautiful thing if you think about it. It never happens. When's the last time you heard about it happening? Yeah. You know, it's like in our world, it's like and it's not bragging about it, just to make an example, Imagine if Puffy and Suge would have got together.
Yeah.
What would that have done?
Right.
It could have been historical, but it didn't happen. And instead, you had two people going at each other. Not saying we're the two biggest things
No, but
ever,
it's a good-
right?
no, I get the
But
comparison,
it makes sense. But now that we're together, it's the brain trust is the best way to explain it. It's great minds come together, and I always say it I say great minds think alike. They don't.
Right.
Great minds don't think alike at all. That's what makes them great minds.
Yeah.
So he thinks differently than I do. I think differently than he does, but we have the same vision, the same end result, and that's what's important. You know, if we thought about the same thing the same way, what's the point of doing it? You have two of the same person. You don't have two quarterbacks on the team playing at the same time. Everybody knows their position they go, and this is the most unselfish situation I've seen. Nobody wants to take credit for it. Nobody's, there's no man above another man or woman, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, and I'll point this out. Actually, it's his job now to do the interviews and be the face of everything. So this will be my last interview.
But even with Shannon, I was telling him, he's like, I'm going to do this. Average Joe's name is so huge. People know who Colt is, whatever. That's
I've always been play the back. You know what I mean? And I think that's like, we talked about it. It's like, I know what my superpowers are. Like, I know why we're here and the things that I do really, really good. One of the things I've never done has been like, out in front. So I was just, do my thing in the back. I'm really good at that. And that's kind of a gap that's kind of been here, the artists do that, but there's no one from the corporate side, executive side. It's like, this is coming out, blah, blah, blah. I say it's your Barnum and Bailey thing, it's like, step right up, here's the new video, but like, he does that so good. Right. And I'm like, that just in itself, I mean, outside of the brain trust, like that's going to be a function moving forward that in itself, adds value to everything, just beyond the fact that we've got these two machines like coming together to make Power Rangers is like,
Sure. Like y'all said, that goes back to what you were saying, what you had spoken about earlier in the week, or about just pushing the culture forward and building each other up and networking with all kinds of different people and artists and pushing things forward instead of the competing thing.
No, this is not a merger. We're going to dominate everybody.
Right.
Yeah. It's not that. It's going, how do we break through to make it bigger for everybody?
Right.
My phone line's open, his phone line's, whatever we can do to help, we're here to help. This is not a dominating type of.
Yeah, we would definitely want to be collaborative outside. Like, you don't have to be here for us to have a conversation with you or whatever. We want to definitely network with labels and artists that's not even here. Like, we've always been that way though. I mean, you can have like some of the other artists that are out there that have never been here that we have relationships with, and they'll just say like, oh, how do I get this to there? Like, how do I get on the Spotify playlist? And we've always we collectively built the Field Party playlist inside of Spotify, which is kind of the biggest country rap thing. We did that in conjunction with Spotify, but we've always, like, when we turn in 10 songs, like, we'll turn in 5 of outside people that we like and 5 inside, because we've always wanted to be balanced, because that was more important from a genre standpoint. Because if it doesn't feel like an overall movement, there's not different. It's never been to me like we need more artists more than it's been we need more labels. And so, and that is kind of why, like, in this thing, it's like Average Joe's is still Average Joe's, and Mako is still Mako. But what you saw on that video, which was the I1 Music Family, which is like a complete other entity that we're going to build artists inside of too. That's kind of like the portal to that's to get you through the glass ceiling, right? They're still like operating individually, but utilizing each other's resources and brain power for all of the labels. Even the other, we there's a lot of other artists that have labels that a lot of people don't even know. Some of them they know that run through here, like John Connor's Warhorse and like Lenny Cooper's Certified. But then there's a few more that you don't even know that are even affiliated with us that we do all the back end on and everything like that. And we push that all that information out to everybody because it's important for those labels, even the ones that aren't affiliated, to do well. And so we really support all of those across, and everybody that's in the genre across the board, because we're not going to win like fighting each other, you know. I mean, look, you're always going to have that competitive nature because that's what kind of going to make you better, you know. But you do it in a way where it's like you want the other person to do good because they're setting a new bar for you to go after, you know. It's like our pinball machine in here, right? Brent, our graphics guy, is the current champion. It makes me want to be better at pinball because I want to be able to talk shit and say I beat him. But I'm still happy that he is the high score right now.
That's right, Shannon.
Another thing too, and y'all are showing us firsthand that you're cool with like pushing forward and collaborating because you're here with we're here with you. You chat on TV, show and prove like y'all called us and we really appreciate that for sure.
100%.
You know, so that's showing right there like with it being on here that's what y'all are about. You know, so that's cool.
It's just about like what he said. If we don't all win, we might all lose.
Right.
It's going to take a collective force to make this thing go to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, all the focus that's on, and I'm the worst person at it. The drama, the unnecessary stuff that happens, it's just not the time for it right now. Right. So it's how do we make each other better? There might be a label out there that's not doing great numbers wise, but the person that's doing it has great ideas. Let's sit down and figure out how we can make your ideas come to life. And they're yours. Not that we get something from it or he gets something from it. Right. How do we get you to the next level? Because you might be the one that breaks that glass ceiling and just needed that little bit of edge that he might have or I might have. It's about coming together and breaking through, you know? Because even the country rap genre, whatever you want to call it, it's easier to call it country rap. It's really just rap music with live instrumentation. Subject matter's different, you know? But I don't think there's a name for it yet. But let's call it country rap for this conversation.
Right.
It's a very fast-growing genre, right? But it hasn't broke through as something that's huge. Yeah. Now, if this population of people loves this type of music, now what's going to happen when this many people hear about it? Yeah. What's going to happen when you put a little bit more marketing behind it, when you put the brains behind it and to push through it? Yeah. Now, there's phenomenons that, you know, an artist will take off and just whatever. How do we duplicate that? How do we, or replicate that really? Right. How do we keep doing that and launch it out? So say Savannah stuff, how do we break through? You know, I might not have an idea. Like he's brought 2 or 3 massive ideas about Savannah I would have never thought about. Right. You know?
Without linking up.
Correct. It's like you don't know. You cannot be afraid to help each other. And I think that's been the problem in the music industry as a whole always.
Especially here.
Yes, people are so intimidated by the next person that they don't respect the next person. Right. That's the problem. You know, this thing that we're doing is about, it's more built off of mutual respect than anything. I respect everything he's done with his company and everything he's done with multiple companies. And it's the same way around. It's coming together and making a positive force that can hopefully get this thing to the next level and grow.
So y'all got an idea about what direction y'all started? Y'all got a fuel for this?
We actually have the blueprints, and nobody thinks like we're like, oh, we're just, this is a thing. We 100% know exactly how it's going to happen. And there's also been, you know, other, you know, new people that have come in here that's part of the process that we brought in specifically for this plan. But that's what do you say? That's a stay tuned. Like, but we've drawn the blueprint out. Yeah. It's just that it's gonna happen as it happens, you know. So. Sure.
Well, I'm sure everybody's super excited about the merger.
We're excited about it. No, for sure. But as much as you want to tell the whole world, hey, this is exactly what the blueprint is, at the same time, just because we're positive doesn't mean the person that's watching this is going to be positive. Right. You know, and if you go, hey, here's my ace of spades, here's my king of diamonds, they might sabotage that part of it, you know. But once you meet people and know they're on the right path, you know, then here's information for you. Let's figure it out. This is where we're going. But there's 100% a plan in place, and it's not a small one. And it's not one that's been done before. You know, we might look back at this in 3 years and go, that's where it started. They said that and they actually did it. Yep. But it's not just me and him doing it. Yeah. There's like a full team of people with the same vision that are attacking at the same time. That's the beauty of it, man.
We're excited about it, man. Is there anything else y'all want to let everybody know to look forward to, or just stay tuned?
He says his last interview. We got to come up with something.
Yeah, man.
No, I have no more. No more. I'm going to turn it over to Brabo and let him do his thing.
We appreciate y'all, man, for sure. We really appreciate the opportunity. And we look
for
forward
sure.
to
We love what you're doing too, man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you've been in the music business a long time. You have a lot of knowledge. Mm-hmm. You know, you deserve to make it. And that's the same reason you're here. It's like, how do we help people that actually deserve to make it? You know, the way I look at it is that you'd have somebody that wants to be a heart surgeon, right? Today they have no idea what heart surgery is, nothing about it, know nothing of it. But if they have that drive and that want to become that, then you go through school, you learn, you practice, and you execute your goals, and then you become that one day.
Right.
But you have to want to get there, you know, and you might not have no clue about it now. There's guys that we brought in on our side of it that have no clue anything about music, but the drive is there.
Right.
The discipline is there. You know, that's success is that. Success is literally waking up, being disciplined, and executing.
Yeah.
I think we built a team of executors,
For sure.
and I think that's what's going to push it. But
I appreciate
like I said, you deserve it too, man. Both of y'all, really.
Yeah.
We've known about each other for 20-something years.
Oh,
So
yeah, man. We for sure for that long, and then we've worked together multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, so we appreciate it. We're here for whatever. So.
no, for sure. I think we're all going to grow together.
Yeah.
But stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Chat on TV better.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.